just the tip of the spear.
Hey, how about we change the subject, huh? Hey, Martin, where you from?
Small town, Milbrook.
Where? Milbrook, huh?
Wasting time.
So when Boyd is talking to Martin in Season 2, Episode 2, and he tries to change the subject, he asks Martin where is he from, pun intended, and Martin answers that he is from Milbrook. Now, Milbrook is a very small town in New York, and normally a detail like that would mean absolutely nothing in a TV show. Characters in shows come from random towns all the time. But this is me and this is from, so you better believe I'm going to dig something. You see, this is not the first time New York shows up in From. If you pay attention, New York actually appears again and again in little background details. Remember in Season 1 when Julie is talking to that guy?
No.
Julie.
Hey, what are you doing?
Don't you recognize me?
And also, remember the cheerleader monster? Both of them are wearing Jamestown High School uniforms. Jamestown is also New York.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
Then there's the Suitcase in Season 2, Episode 1. On the suitcase there's a patch that says New York 1964. And right next to it there is a little symbol that looks almost like an atom or a globe or a combination of both, something that gives you the vibe of a science fair or some kind of a scientific event. Now if we put them together, none of these details look connected at all, like Milbrook, Jamestown High School, New York 1964 on a suitcase, just random background elements. But what if we'll ask ourselves a question? Was there something interesting that was happening in Milbrook, New York in 1964? And that's where things start getting very interesting. Because 1964 Milbrook is connected to a very famous and very controversial figure in American history, Timothy Leary. If you grew up in United States, you probably heard his name. Leary was a psychologist who taught at Harvard University in the early 1960s, but he became extremely controversial because he started openly promoting psychedelic substances like LSD. Eventually, Harvard fired him in 1963. After that, Leary moved to Milbrook, where he rented a huge mansion known as the Hitchcock Estate. There, he and a group of followers created something like a communal living experiment. They were running psychedelic experiments and exploring the limits of human consciousness. In fact, during this period of time, Leary wrote one of his most famous books, The Psychedelic Experience, which was essentially a guide to altered states of consciousness. And all this was happening exactly around 1964. Still, it all feels like a bit of a stretch, until you remember how exactly Miranda started to hear uncoy children.
See, me and Miranda were hippies back in the day, but we gave up all the drugs, all the drinking when she got pregnant with Victor. Then one day, years later, it was my 35th birthday, Miranda gets it in her head that we're going to take a stroll down memory lane. She gets us 2 hits of acid.
So she and Henry took some acid, took some LSD, and during that experience, Miranda started hearing the voices of uncoy children. The connection to the mystical opened through the consumption of the physical. Suddenly, she was able to hear something that other people couldn't.
We take the kids to her parents' house for the night, and we take one last trip for old time's sake. That's when the voices started, when she started seeing things. She painted everything she saw.
At this point it feels less and less like a stretch and a figment of my imagination, and more like something that needs to be connected. Now I can almost imagine Henry and Miranda being part of the Hitchcock Estate Communa and being part of the Leary's experiment. In the interview, by the way, that Jack Bender gave to Emmanuel Imenozet, he said that when he first met the creator John Griffin, he already had a huge backstory for the world of the show, decades of history, timelines, events that shaped the mystery.
I got on the phone with John, and after introductions and how much I liked the script and stuff, I said, okay, tell me what the fuck is going on with this town. what's the deal here? And John launched into a incredibly detailed. I kept picturing a professor at a blackboard, you know, with the tweed sport coat, going down this endless list in a history class of going back. John had figured out the whole Rubik's Cube puzzle.
So maybe moments like Milbrook in 1964 are actually a part of that hidden history, or maybe they're just small references that the writers enjoy sprinkling into the background. I hope you're not upset that I'm not giving you some magical 100% confidence answer about what is really going on in From. You see, most of the time my job is never to come here and say, this is the answer, I solved the mystery, look how smart I am. If I'll ever actually have the answer, sure, I'll tell you. But most of the time what I like to do here is simply share observations, little details that might mean something in the future, or maybe might mean absolutely nothing. So at this point I'm curious, what do you think? Do you think this connection between Milbrook, Timothy Leary, LSD and Miranda hearing the voices is intentional? Or am I imagining something? Or I'm just connecting dots here that were never meant to be connected? Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know on my channel you kinda used to see 1 hour or half an hour videos, but I'm planning to do more of those From Bits videos when they are actually very short and we're talking about something small, which is not necessarily demands me doing a lot of talking about it, but it's still something that I want to share with you. Also, you're more than welcome to check my store. I have some cool From merch for the fans. I think it actually looks very nice. You're more than welcome to check it out in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Meanwhile, bye.